Of course, I almost trip on my face the moment I press the button. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me live on my walk. Bringing to you live from the grandest insane asylum there is, also called the world. I hope your most treasured phantoms are unphantom enough for you to hold on to and keep, as we say, the insanity going. You know, there's a sense in which we can walk together and in walking kind of in some sense notice that it's really kind of a misnomer to say I am taking a walk. I mean, the amount of deliberateness that comes in walking really maybe is just whatever it is that gets you out of the door. But then once you start walking, like, there's no deliberates, you're just walking. Or walking happens. And in this case, talking and walking happens. And in this walking that's happening, you know, one can, the one who's being walked and the one whose conversation that you are having right now or listening to is actually, it's not quite, probably can't quite tell for sure if what you're listening to and what you may be listening and watching, where exactly is it? Is it on the screen, in the screen? Is it in the server? Or is it in your listening? For which the server and the screen find their occasion in the ground of your disclosure, called I am listening to guysengstock, walking and talking. It's not, in other words, it's not quite clear, right? When you really kind of look at things. But I don't get the sense that, like, too many people are that interested in actually looking at things. They're interested in having things. I'll give it that, right? Kind of mastering things or getting a hold of things and possessing them. Possessing the good stuff, getting rid of the bad stuff, and still being home by 5 o'clock. Something like that. And what is always already available in all of that is one can look around and notice, even in the midst of insanity, right? Even in the midst of perhaps the most historically insane time in the universe, arguably, right? Called the world. Yet the world kind of really isn't the world, right? Like the thing that I can grab onto. It too has this quality. When you go to find it, all of a sudden you realize you don't even know what it is, for Christ's sake. You've been walking around participating in day after day in this thing called the world. as if it was kind of self-evidently there, and then when you actually look at, well, where is it? It becomes quite weird. But still the same. Whether or not it occurs for you as weird or not, there's a way in which, while walking, one can just simply attend to the experience as such. And everything that one sees with one's eyes, right? It does seem to have a nature, right? And it seems like the nature is something like this. Like that house, right there. Those trees, those stairs, right? That sidewalk. There's a way in which that that fire, what do you call it? The place, the fire hydrant. Yeah, kind of not been out much. Obviously, that's a fire hydrant. See, there's a way in which it really is itself, right? It kind of gathers, right? It comes to appearance in the sense that it gathers into what it is, and it also lays itself out as what it is at the same time. Everything has this quality. Everything that's a thing, every being seems to has this quality of a kind of event of gathering and letting lay. And it's kind of even weirder than that because, you know, language, or the grammar, or at least English, it's hard to get that this sense in which it's not like it gathers first and then lets lay, and it's showing what it is. And what shows is it's gathering. So it does it all at once somehow. Everything. Thoughts are the same thing. Anything that you can experience, right? It is experienced as such as the gathering and the letting lay. And here's what's even more interesting, right? If if the previous thing was interesting to you. What's even kind of trippier is that in that gathering and letting, one of the most difficult things to notice is my participation in the matter. What do you make of that? Well, I've yet to hear anybody give some final explanation on the matter. However, I can say that it seems as though the phenomena of the worldhood of the world, there's a way that the ground of that world is, in some sense, the human, the being of the human being. We seem to sit. It's funny, I don't know if that's the right word, or stand, or are, in between being and appearance. Let's do that again. In fact, I don't even know if I'm actually saying this right, because I'm actually trying to grapple with this sense in which the human being always already is, in its being, the between being and appearance. And we are this, in some sense, we enact, embody, we be this tension that's constantly, in some sense, like letting open, this gathering, laying itself out. So in other words, everything that you've ever done, right? Everything you've ever thought, every illusion you've ever had, every thought, every movement, every intention, every reflex, everything that is you, that is in some sense a response to and as between the tension between being and appearance, and you bring this being into unconcealment and show its unconcealment and bring concealment to it at the same time. Like, that's what human being does. In case you were wondering what you've been doing all your life. So, thank you for allowing me to, we could say, some things that are absolutely, hopefully, completely useless, with no utility. A moment of scole, if you will.